In this tutorial, we'll be covering the crack cooking minigame. Click the items to add them to the pot. Must be at least 50 units of Coke and 1 unit of baking soda. Make sure you don't use too much baking soda as it can cause the mixture to burn. After all ingredients are added, click the cook button to start the cooking minigame. System supply. At least 50 to 200 units of Coke must be added to the system. Anything less and you won't be able to start the system. At least 1 to 5 units of baking soda must be added to the system as well, 1 being the easiest setting with the lowest overall yield, and 5 being the most difficult setting with the greatest potential for yield. Baking soda reacts to the mixture when heated, creating an increased volume to the finished product. The only problem is the greater the amount of baking soda, the more likely you are to burn the mixture. Personally, I like to use in between 2 or 3 units of baking soda. System overview. When you look at the minigame, you will notice there are 4 different quadrants within the grid: the yellow quadrant, the blue quadrant, the green quadrant, and the red quadrant. Each quadrant contains 4 squares that must be filled with 1 of each color. You must use the squares that have been given to you at the start of the game to figure out where the rest of the squares are located. When you look at the blue square, you will notice that only 1 has been given. I have highlighted the blue areas that the blue square cannot be located within the quadrant based on its starting location. Now I've done the same with the only green square. Based on the starting location of the green square, another green square could be placed on the bottom left of the yellow quadrant. Based on the location of the first red square being highlighted, there is not enough information to disclose the location of another red square. But based on the location of the second red square, another red square can be placed in the top left of the blue quadrant. Here's a quick demonstration of how the game is played. To achieve Dope Boy Fresh status, all squares must be placed in the correct position. If you notice, each row, column, and quadrant has 1 of each color. As the game progresses and more of the locations of the squares have been revealed, the easier it typically is to figure out the locations of the other squares. Sometimes at the end of the game, you end up with 4 squares and you basically have to guess and get lucky. I wasn't so lucky here. Thankfully, I used only 2 units of baking soda. If I would have used more, the crack would have burned.